I don't believe marriage is about money, but some people clearly are all about it. My sister-in-law, Vanessa Blake, is definitely one of those people. I never thought money or inheritance would cause drama, especially after my brother, who was a surgeon, passed away. My name's Emily Carter. I manage a jewelry store, I'm 31, single, and I love my job. Lately, I've been thinking it's time to get married, especially since my boyfriend just officially proposed. Since getting engaged, we've met each other's families, and tomorrow is the big family meeting. Not just the parents, but siblings are supposed to come too. My brother, Daniel Carter, is 8 years older than me and works as a surgeon at a hospital in Tokyo. He's got a great reputation, and honestly, he's what I'd call a high-spec guy. Good looks, smart, successful. Because he's older, he's always spoiled me and been super protective. When I told him about my engagement, he jokingly said, "You're finally getting married. I'm happy for you, but if some weirdo shows up as your fiancé at the family meeting, I won't accept it." I couldn't help but laugh. I told him, "Don't worry, he's nicer than you." He just looked a bit annoyed and asked, "Nicer than me?" Daniel's been married for 4 years, and his wife, Vanessa, is definitely a looker. She has this model-like nose and eyes, like she just stepped out of a catalog. When they walk down the street together, it's like a scene from a drama, and people often stop to stare. My brother loves Vanessa, and he doesn't mind that she quit her job or spends a lot on designer bags. He basically lets her use his money however she wants. Vanessa often cancels family events for stuff like brand name sales. She missed a morning family gathering recently because she was out shopping for the latest Chloe release. At first, my parents and I tried to be understanding, thinking maybe it's tough to keep up appearances all the time. But Vanessa's attitude kept getting worse, especially when she canceled tomorrow's family meeting last minute. Honestly, I don't mind if she doesn't come, but what annoys me is how she treats my brother, who's a busy surgeon, like her personal assistant, making him apologize to everyone, take messages, and run errands for her. My brother's pretty soft on her, though. He apologized to me and promised he'd talk to Vanessa and be there himself tomorrow. What bugs me most isn't just her selfishness, but how she makes my brother drop everything to manage her whims. After they got married, Vanessa became a full-time housewife, but she didn't do any housework. Instead, she hired cleaners, and they mostly ate out. She wasn't busy with anything important. Her days were all about shopping for designer bags and clothes. The family meeting the next day went smoothly. My boyfriend made a great impression, and everything ended peacefully. I thought it was a nice evening, until I got a call from Vanessa later that night. As I was telling her the dinner party had gone well, she suddenly started yelling at me. "It doesn't matter. I didn't ask you to say anything. Where are my scones and macarons?" I was totally confused. I didn't remember her asking me to bring any sweets. Before I could ask what she meant, she kept going. "Are you even listening? Don't tell me you didn't buy them. You and Daniel are both so annoying." I tried to explain that I hadn't been asked to buy anything, but she just kept yelling. She said, "I told you I love afternoon tea at that hotel. Since I couldn't go, you should have brought me something from there." I thought, wait, that's why she wanted to go to the hotel? But the whole family meeting was the reason we were there, and Vanessa had the whole day free. Why didn't she go herself? When I said that, she just hung up, saying, "Never mind." I was still feeling good about the dinner, but now I was exhausted. I wondered if Daniel ever got any rest living with someone so emotional and demanding. Why did he marry Vanessa in the first place? Sure, Vanessa looks amazing on the outside, but she's super self-centered. Maybe she was spoiled growing up because of her looks. I worried about Daniel but didn't want to interfere. It's his marriage, after all. He's been supportive of my wedding plans, too. The next day at the jewelry store, I saw Vanessa outside, arm in arm with a younger man. She's 10 years younger than Daniel, so he looked to be in his late 20s. They were acting very close and walked into the store together. I greeted her, and she said, "Oh wow, you actually work here? That's hilarious." They laughed without a hint of apology. Nervous, I asked, "Who's this guy?" She said, "Oh, he's from my old modeling agency." Even if he was just an old acquaintance, why were they so touchy, especially since she's married? Then Vanessa leaned on the glass case and asked if I could show her some diamond necklaces, and if there was an employee discount. I was so uncomfortable. I lied and said I couldn't offer any discount, even though I actually could. I just didn't want to encourage her, especially if that guy was buying for her. Vanessa got a little annoyed but ended up buying 2 expensive necklaces. The guy paid, of course. I wasn't sure what to make of their relationship, so I decided to tell Daniel. When I called him that night, he sounded worse than usual. "What's wrong?" "You don't sound well," I said. He just said he was fine, then asked about my wedding plans and whether I was saving up. I told him we're planning for next year and invited him and Vanessa. He seemed hesitant and then said, "I have something to give you. Meet me at Mom and Dad's." Then he hung up. I figured he was stressed. Daniel, as a surgeon, always puts his patients first and ignores his own health. "It's one of those occupational hazards," he joked before, but I was really worried. Later, Daniel emailed me and our parents about a family gathering at Mom and Dad's house. When I arrived, Daniel was there too, but he looked worse than I'd ever seen. I asked if he was sleeping okay. Both my parents and I were concerned, but he just said he was busy. I finally asked him in front of them, "What's going on with Vanessa? She came to my store holding hands with some young guy. Is she cheating on you?" My mom gasped. Daniel said, "She's been doing this for a while. I've just been too busy to pay attention." That made my parents furious. Vanessa didn't come to the gathering that day, and Daniel said he wanted us all there because he had a favor to ask. Then he shared something shocking. When we asked if it was true, he confirmed it again and again. 3 months later, Daniel passed away. He'd developed stomach cancer, caused by years of stress and overwork. He'd been doing surgeries every day, working overnight shifts, and coming home to a wife who didn't cook, clean, or care about him. I was drowning in grief. But there was one person who didn't seem to belong in that moment: Vanessa. She showed up at the funeral wearing that flashy diamond necklace she bought at my store, the same one another man had paid for. It sparkled in the harshest way, totally out of place for a funeral. It made me sick. Unforgivable. In a burst of anger, I grabbed her arm. "What are you doing wearing that? Don't you know how much my brother cared about you?" Vanessa, always in her own world, just smiled. "What are you talking about? Of course, I know. He could be heavy and depressing sometimes. But in this world, people treat me differently. If you don't like that, don't marry me. And don't say those things in front of your brother's body." My parents and I could barely hold ourselves back. I thought, I hope this woman burns in hell. But she kept going, completely unfazed. He was always too busy. That's why our relationship ended. But at least one good thing came from this marriage. As his wife, I get the inheritance. I can live off that for the rest of my life. I raised my hand to slap her, but a man stepped between us and caught my hand. "I'm a nurse. I worked with Daniel. He told me to protect you if something like this happened." His calm words confused me until I noticed a group of nurses and doctors around us, people who had worked closely with my brother. And then I heard laughter. Laughter? At a funeral? I asked the nurse why they were laughing. "Dr. Carter didn't leave her any inheritance, did he? Your family would know." He was right. Daniel didn't leave a single yen to Vanessa. She hadn't been told this, and when she realized it, she lost it. "What? Stop lying. You're just trying to cheat me and split the money." Daniel was a surgeon in Tokyo. He had savings, I know it. Her voice cracked in panic. The nurses burst into hysterical laughter. My father stepped forward calmly. "You really don't know, do you?" "What?" "Explain," she screamed. So I told her. Daniel had already divided his assets while he was alive. He gave me 10 million yen as a wedding gift. He supported friends, co-workers, even young doctors he mentored. He'd lost patience with the stress at home and spent his money on things that brought him joy: lavish dinner parties, rented cruise ships, 5-star hotels. Vanessa. She was never invited. She missed every meaningful moment in his final years. One nurse said, even though he was exhausted, he never forgot to take care of us. He threw parties that made us feel like celebrities, something no other doctor did. And the biggest shock for Vanessa? Daniel donated the rest of his estate to the hospital. Senior executives from the General Hospital came to say their final farewells. The hospital had been struggling financially for years. Thanks to Daniel, their research and patient care would continue. Though gone, Daniel's spirit and generosity lived on with those who truly cared. But Vanessa, she was yelling at his colleagues. We have no children, so the inheritance should be mine. What are you doing taking it without permission? You're all thieves. You'll pay me back every penny. And then she left. 4 months later, Vanessa called me. Wait, what do you mean? She complained. She'd been trying to collect Daniel's living will and manage his assets, including the mansion she lives in now and his blank notebooks. They found out Daniel had a lot of debt. Considering his earnings, 20 million yen of debt isn't huge, but all of it was already taken care of. Vanessa, wanting the mansion, had started inheritance procedures without checking the details. Hey, we're family, right? You'll help us? She asked. My answer was clear. Daniel is gone. We're no longer family. If you'd cared for him, I'd help you. But after everything you've done, how can you say that? She said, so I inherit both the mansion and the debt? If I refuse the inheritance, I'll have nowhere to live. In a cold voice, I said, inheritance means inheriting debts too. And you can only renounce it within 3 months after being informed. Why don't you sell those brand bags you've collected? Vanessa cried, begged for forgiveness, but I just hung up. My brother's passing delayed my wedding by a year. My husband and in-laws saw how depressed I was and said it was okay to postpone longer. But I felt my brother would be angry if I stayed down for too long. I wish you could come to my wedding, I told him in my heart. I'll live my life helping those who support me, just like you did. Daniel was well loved. After he died, many colleagues came to visit his grave. When I heard he spent money on people at work, I worried someone might try to take advantage. But if it was about money only, no one would have shown up. Every day, I respect my brother more, even after he's gone. Oh, and Vanessa. She might be headed for bankruptcy. The jewelry industry shares info, so rumors about her downfall spread fast. I heard she's been returning jewelry to many stores, not just mine. Also, several men have been seen with her at different stores, maybe 20 or more. Rumors flew, mostly among women who love drama. Some of those men are married. I wonder how many alimony payments she'll end up with. She had to sell her mansion and now lives on the 2nd floor of a restaurant, working 3 part-time jobs. But her debts aren't shrinking. Well, with her spending habits, it's no surprise. My brother spent money on people who mattered to him. She only spent on herself. In a way, they were a perfect match, reckless spenders. Still, I believe marrying just for money is wrong. And I'll always protect Daniel's memory, just like he protected me.